Hey, all. Good afternoon. It is, 16:45 or so Pacific time. I want to give you guys a quick update. I went to the sentencing hearing this morning, or actually it was this afternoon at 1. Joel, one of my attorneys, was there with me. The other attorneys, Angus and Austin, were on the Zoom. It was great to have that support. I was overwhelmed. I mean, honestly, well, geez, you know how it is. The older men get, the more they cry. But I almost cried over the amount of support that was there. I mean, the courtroom was packed full of people. The hallway was full of people. They had an overflow room in another building that was full of people. And it was pretty much, other than 5 or 6 people that were specifically invited by the prosecution, were there in support of who we are and what we stand for, and the fact that we got to fight this government. And I'm not quite going to say that this is tyranny. This isn't quite a tyranny thing. It's close. Left unchecked, it could become a tyranny thing. My glasses are getting in the way here and reflecting back on myself, so I'm going to take those off. But it could become a tyranny thing. What this is just government overreach that needs to be checked. And once checked, then the government knows what their boundaries are, right? We all know that the Constitution was written to prevent the government from infringing on our rights, not to prevent us from infringing on the government's ability to dictate to us how we have to live our lives. Right? So that's what it was there for. So when we challenge these things, when you and I, and hopefully a lot more of us moving forward, challenge these things in a court of law, that lets the government know that we're not going to put up with it. I mean, here's the reality. We all took civics in high school. At least when I was going to high school and college, there were civics classes. And in civics classes, we were taught about the separation of powers, the different branches of government, right? That's at the federal level, right? Well, that disseminates its way down all the way to the state and the local level, all the way down to, cemetery districts and water districts. This water district over here cannot dictate policy for that water district over there. The auditor cannot dictate health policy that the health department should be dictating over here, right? Those separation powers are there for a reason. It's to prevent dictatorship. It's to prevent an overbearing government. It's to prevent one particular branch of the office to be able to dictate everything that happens in our population, our society, and our communities. And so this goes to the basic tenet of separation of powers, of constitutionality, and where local government fits into that. See, if Sheila Kreider would have went to the health department and said, I'm concerned about a COVID outbreak. I'm concerned about all these elderly people working in here and the possibility of a COVID outbreak. And the health department went out and did its investigative work and found that, yes, there was an increase in COVID cases going on right now, not 6 months ago, not a year ago, not 3 years ago, but going on right now. Yes, there's a crisis out there. Something's going on, and we have to be aware of it, and we have to make a difference, and we have to proactively work against that. Then the health department would have, or could have, put in a mandate. That's their purview. That's what they're there to do. That's why they exist. That's not why Sheila Kreider exists as the auditor. So we have policies in place for this. Sound of Freedom's going by. I hope you guys appreciate it. I do. Every time they go by, no matter how many times I see it, I have to continue to look up and love the nation I live in, even with its flaws. So anyway, not trying to rehash the whole thing. The whole thing is not over. This is the very beginning. So we're going to appeal these decisions. We're going to appeal the verdict. We're going to appeal the criminal case. We're already appealing the civil case, and this is going to make it up to some much higher courts. And thanks to you guys. Thank you to you guys for support and help. Countless letters. It was an amazing thing. The judge was actually able to twist one of the letters a little bit, but everybody that was there knew the truth behind the letter. And I could talk about that on a future podcast or video. But so here's what the result was. I know this is 4 minutes of bloviating to get to the result. So no jail time, 40 hours of community service. And as soon as I complete that 40 hours of community service, then no more probation after that. And then I'm not supposed to go within 100 feet of the elections office. Boo-hoo. I don't want to go within 100 feet of that freaking place anyway, right? Until Sheila Kreider's gone, because ineptitude breeds ineptitude, and that's what's happened here in Washington State. Our government has become so inept on what the people actually want and need, and so self-centered on themselves that I don't want to participate with those guys anyway. I mean, heck, I might even run against her, just to have somebody with competence in the office, with common sense, right? It's time for these people to go. So no real charges. $700 in fines and court fees. Drop in the bucket. I'll just go pay that and get that over with, so I don't have that hanging over my head. I do 40 hours of community service before I even think about what's going on the rest of the week in a lot of weeks. So that's not going to be an issue. That'll be done in the next week or two. So really it came down to this. I think the judge knew that this should have been dismissed way back when. A massive hole had been dug. Banks is on the ropes, and he's taking body blows left and right. And the knockout blow is coming soon in the appeals court for him. And so, the judge figured if we need to give this guy an extremely lenient sentence, and hope that this all goes away, which it's not going to go away without the appeal. And that's where we're at. So once again, thank you guys for helping me out so much. Thank you guys for supporting me. This isn't over. It's still going to cost tens of thousands of dollars more to litigate this on the civil side, to appeal this on the criminal side. I still got to go after Valiant for what they did at my work, right? For firing me for a mistake they made, not a mistake that I made. And God forbid, man, I lose my civil rights, right? So I don't lose my right to vote. I get to keep that. However, I do lose my gun rights until further notice, right? So we're going to appeal all that. We'll put in a motion to reinstate those gun rights as soon as we possibly can. And we'll just keep going from there. But fight. We still need to beat this. We still need to stand in that gap. We still need people to not take it. To not just take it in the rear end and accept it, because that's what we've done for the last 40 years in the state of Washington, and that's why we're where we are today. And I'll give you a quick side note. I was in Detroit a few weeks ago, and you got Highway 5 that passes through Seattle, and every wall is graffitied, and there's homeless people under every overpass, and the place is just a freaking disaster. I don't even get off the highway in Seattle no more. It sucks so bad. In Detroit, Michigan, we've heard so much bad stuff about Detroit, Michigan, and how terrible it is there. Maria and I traveled down the highway through downtown Detroit on our way to the airport, and we did not see one piece of graffiti. Not one. I'm not saying we went out looking for it, but we didn't see one piece of graffiti. We didn't see any homeless people under overpasses. There were nobody on the street corner where we were at begging for food or begging for money or pooping on a side post or cleaning their butts with a freaking fire hydrant like in Seattle. What is wrong with Washington? And what are you willing to do to help fix it rather than abandon it? Anyway, Tim Hayslow, once again, if they can do this to me, they can do this to you. Nobody is above the reach of a vindictive, progressive prosecutor. That includes you, and that includes other progressives, by the way. Don't fool yourself. Do not fool yourself. Progressives will eat their own if they're not progressive enough, if they're not woke enough. So, if they can do this to me, they can do this to you. Remember that moving forward. Keep your heads down. Stay in the fight. Don't give up, and just make sure that you're willing to follow through with it. Because if you're not, it could get really crappy really fast. I'm going to continue to fight. We'll continue to move forward. And I'm going to make a better video. I'm just kind of decompressing right now. Happy to be at the farm instead of in the jail, right? Happy to be at the farm instead of in the farm, for lack of a better term. But, so I'm going to decompress a little bit, and then I'll make a really more detailed video tomorrow. Anyway, God bless you. God bless America. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support. Keep sharing the link for Give, Send, Go, because we're going to need to keep on raising funds for this fight. And And if you know anybody in the world of Valiant Integrated, which is the company that wrongfully terminated me, reach out to them and tell them how screwed up they are, because we're coming for them next. All right, you guys have a great evening, and I will update you again later. Good night.